the two teams' tendencies are going to be. But of course now, the most important part of all, it's time to welcome our players, starting with the top lane. Zeus against Doran has been an iconic top lane matchup in best of fives, in road shows across their time here in the LCK. Domestically here, at least, Zeus here has been incredibly dominant in regular season, but when it comes to these best of fives, he has often fallen prey to Doran as he did last year.
Doran, latest edition, last year on T1, obviously winning the World Championship with them, and then coming into his own and really making a name for himself multiple times across LCK titles. But I think sometimes lives or dies on his confidence and how he's feeling the series.
Yeah, Doran, absolutely fantastic in road to MSIs of past, and I am curious to see how he is going to be doing today.
The Krug Lord.
Yeah, the Krug Lord. I do think that, you know, when it comes down to it, this guy can really show up as long as he's feeling it. We still talk about, you know, Doran versus Pays and, you know, who deserves the MVP and stuff like that. I still
don't mention that with the two of us on this desk.
I still side with Doran, but at the end of the day, you know, there's a reason why we have some Doran fighters for him to, you know, be deserving of that MVP, even though he did not get it in that day. But yeah, very curious about the form.
The jungle matchup, this is the one that I think if you are a Hanwha Life esports predictor like Dagon, you are really leaning into this man right here. Player of the year so far for LCK, I think very easily. His style is what forged this team's play style. Owner on the other side, I don't want to say he's had a quieter year, but he has definitely not necessarily been the main character for his squad. But Owner has come up big in so many big matchups against Kanavi internationally. Now they're competing to see who is going to go internationally the first seed.
There's been so many times where Owner's just been in that terrific Worlds form, and it's just started to bleed out into the rest of the year where it's just his form in general. And in these big matches, he comes and he provides so much pressure, willing to pick things like the first time Mundo at Worlds, which was showing a crazy level of confidence. But on his signature picks, on his Zinzao, on his Nocturne, just feels almost unbeatable.
Yeah, I feel like both of these junglers really can turn the tides of the games. I mean, we've seen Owner do it so many times on huge stages. Kanavi has as well for the many teams he's been on. But, you know, as you were saying, Wolf, I think this year he's really on form, and I think it can be very close between these two teams, but Kanavi has been insane this year.
This mid matchup is epic because we have Faker, who has been looking so good right now, so many solo kills, but Zeka, his champion pool is completely unleashed, no longer just the melee specialist. He is playing all of the mages. And with Faker in form, which you don't always see it year-round, but when it happens with these big best-of-fives looming, you know you're going to have a good time if you're a T1 fan.
I think Zeka struggled with the addition of Fearless, but now is fully unleashed and has been playing such a variety, and it feels like he has strengths in so many places. His pairing with Kanavi has been so hard to deal with. On the other side, I mean, he's going up against the GOAT, so it's always a tall task to match into.
Yeah, I think a lot of, you know, even what Id was saying, you know, part of the reason why he went for 3-0 is Faker. Like, that was his reason. I think in best of fives in big matches, you can never really doubt this guy. Zeka, though, in his own right, very good in terms of what he is able to bring out in the clutch. He has a lot of POMs this year at the LCK, and he has really stepped up his game in a big way. And I think that's a major reason why this team is on top of the LCK right now.
And the bot lane matchup, the swap that we had this year with Gumayusi going over to HLE and Pays coming in here. Gumayusi winning the finals MVP and then leaving T1, going up against Pays, returning from the LPL, young prodigy player. And this is a matchup always exciting to see. Both these players extremely talented and very proficient in their role.
I think right now these two teams are playing through their bottom laners extremely differently. Gumayusi is often left to weak side while Delight is roaming around the map, whereas Pays and Carrier are locked in as a duo. The two of them sticking together and we're seeing dives, we're seeing Faker roam. Just like classic Guma on old T1, they've moved Pays into that spot, they've accelerated this guy, and when he gets a lead, T1 pop off, and they have facilitated him so much. Whereas on the other side of Hanwha Life Esports, it's been a little bit more utility for Gumayusi. He has gotten a lot done when it comes to mid and late game, but the early game, he takes a back seat.
It's always a very fun time down on the bottom side. We even got to see the highlight between Keria and Guma and their time spent together and now their time spent apart. And speaking of which, Keria here up against Delight in the support role. I feel like the patches are slowly heading in Delight's favor, but in terms of supports, this year has really been about Keria.
You see all those support changes, helping out melee supports. We know Delight feels good, but he's been having some phenomenal performances on the range supports and showing the breadth of his pool. But when you're going up against Keria, a player who's consistently innovated and challenged what it means to be a support, this is expected to be a hype matchup, but Keria has just been in terrific form.
I don't think any team in the LCK could say their star player is a support except T1. It's the only team that could say that. It's the only team that could say often the main character is the support in Keria. It's his champion pool, it's his clutch plays, it's his laning phase, and they give the resources to that bottom 2v2, and he shines, and he does not fail. He does not choke. And that's something that for Delight we can often say but not always say it. I think if Delight is going to go to MSI as our first seed, he's going to have to step it up in this matchup in a big way.
Yeah, I think we might be able to see some interesting stuff. You know, we already talked about the patch, but you know, in terms of some of the new things we're seeing in the support role, I'm very much looking forward to seeing what we're going to see in a Fearless Best of 5, one on this new patch that should bring some fun stuff.
Coaches taking the stage here now for what will be a grueling best of 5 here in Fearless in Wonju in front of this massive crowd. You want to get that first seed. For Hanwha Life Esports, last year they were up 2-0, got reverse swept, then got 3-0'd by this very team. So a lot of history between the two of them in Road to MSI from last year. Hanwha Life Esports know what it's like to lose in that top matchup and not go. And they definitely do not want to repeat history here tonight.
And I remember after they missed out on MSI, coming back to the LCK, it took a while for them to find their footing again. It wasn't until playoffs they really reached that level. I remember Zaya saying in interviews how that loss, they were reeling from it for some significant time. It's a heavy loss to take, and I'm sure that in this situation, they will do anything to avoid meeting that fate again, especially in the manner that it happened. Going down from this match where they were one game away to getting swept, and they know that there's a good chance they might just end up facing Gen G down there, who are a dangerous team you don't want to face at this sort of last chance situation.
Yeah, I do feel like anything is possible when it comes to, you know, big matches and upsets and stuff like that. I feel like generally the LCK, you know, we've had T1 versus Gen G so many times. We've had so many of these top tier teams going head to head over and over, but it is KT, so, you know, you never know what you're going to get. But yeah, I would agree. I think Gen G should be making it through, and to be honest, we don't even really know how Gen G's form matches up against these two teams. They could be the best that we have here.